So in the last part of history, we have saw that the Britishers were doing so much rude behavior with us. They were doing war against us, and then they were torturing. They were asking us to cultivate indigo and cultivate whatever they wanted. They used to sell the very low quality product to us at a very high price. So those what how they were exploiting us, we have read all about. And now through timeline, through year wise, we will see that how we started preparing uh, to fight against Britishers, and finally the Britishers went away. How it was made possible? It was not made possible in one day, that one fine day the Britishers they decided to go away from India. No, it was not that easy. The struggle was very hard actually. So what has been done, let's see. So let's start from here, the big picture, a timeline of the Indian freedom struggle from 1800 to 1916. So for more than 100 years we have fought against them. After that we have got our freedom. So 800 onwards means the year 800. Now we are to 2000. The year is 2000. So that year was 1800 onwards. 1800. Rise of the social reformers. Many social reformers were there. Reformers means who changed the society. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand, all these people were the reformers. They changed the society. Uh, they bring changes to the society. So, rise of a new leadership among the Indians who talked about the greatness of India's past marked the beginning of India's struggle for freedom. Many educated Indians began to question the British Raj and its exploitation of Indians. Means they started asking question that why Britishers should rule us. We are Indian and we should have our own government. We don't want to be ruled by the other country people. So we want our Swaraj. Means we will do Raj on our country. Okay, so who were the leaders? Name you should remember with spellings. They were Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Vivekanand, Dayanand Saraswati, Sayyid Ahmad Khan, and so on. So if question comes that who were the social reformers, you have to give these names. Now, what changes they have brought? Excuse me. So, what changes they have brought? Contribution of the social leaders urged Indians to work towards improving the condition of women. That time the women are tortured a lot, as you must have heard about Sati Pratha. Women were killed with the dead body of the if somebody used to die, then the wife of that person was taken by the Brahmins and then they were burnt. Okay, so these reformers have urged Indians to work towards improving the condition of the women, encourage the spread of modern education amongst all. They said that all should be educated. If you get education, then only your life will be settled. Okay, otherwise, settlement is not possible. Criticize superstitious beliefs and practices in our society, such as child marriage and sati. So, sati pratha I have just told, and child marriage, getting married at an early age was the tradition of that time. So, that they have abolished, means they have stopped. Then, next timeline 1885. What happened? Formation of the National Congress to fight against the Britishers. Britishers were a huge group. So fight against that group. It was very important that we should also create group. One single person could not win the battle. So we needed to form a group. So for that, what did the leaders did? They formed the Indian National Congress, INC. Okay, C. The Indian National Congress or INC was formed to unite Indians politically. Means they wanted to unite the people. Who were the leaders? Then you have to remember these names. Leaders were the INC was set up by A.O. Hume, a retired English official. Now you will say that why English people have started. Maybe they were also seeing the condition of the Indians and some people were good. That's why they helped to create a group. So INC they have created. Who has created? Question can come. So A.O. Hume, a retired English official. Other leaders were Dadabhai Nauroji, Surendranath Banerjee, and so on. So, what was the aim of INC? What did they want? The early national leaders aimed to fight for freedom step by step. They wanted to fight for the freedom step by step. Second point, asked for greater participation of Indians in administration and politics. Means they said that we will also be a part of the government. Why only British people are becoming the officials or officers? We also want to be the officer. Argued for inclusion of Indians in legislative assemblies and council. So they argued for us that if there is any bad thing happening to Indians, earlier no one used to speak, and now these INC started speaking for us. Demanded more freedom of speech and expression. Earlier, what used to happen, if you speak anything against the Britishers, you were jailed and you were taken to jail and then you were killed, either with bullet or hanging. You were hung. Okay. Then they demanded that we want to speak freely, whatever we want. That is to be able to publish their views freely in newspaper and magazine. So result what happened? The British never took these demands seriously. Means at the starting, Britishers did not take these things as seriously. Then what happened in 1857? In last chapter also we have read about it. Revolt of 1857 happened. Means people were so tortured that they stood against the British rule. So, after 100 years of the Battle of Plassey, the Indian people were so tired and angry of the cruel way of the British that they rose in revolt against the British rule in 1857. This revolt is known as the Revolt of 1857 and also called by some historian as the first war of Indian independence. So, if the question comes, which was the first war of Indian independence, then you have to tell that it was 1857. Leaders of the revolt were Mangal Pandey, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Kuwar Singh, and Begum Hazrat Mahal. All this we have read in the last chapter. So you need to remember these names. Okay. So what was the result of the 1857? We know that the power was taken away from the company and then the power went directly to the hand of Queen Victoria. The revolt was mercilessly suppressed by the Britishers. Then what happened? 1858, end of this EEIC rule. So company did not have any power that time. Directly the Queen of the England took the power from the Britishers. That was also not much of a change for us because the Queen is also from outside. Of course, she will not think about us much, right? So the rule of the EEIC came to an end and India was brought under the direct rule of the British Crown. Queen Victoria became the Empress of India. So she took the control directly over there. Words to remember, you have to remember these words. सुपरस्टिशियस माने अंधविश्वास, अंधविश्वास जो हम बोलते हैं. बिलीविंग दैट पर्टिकुलर इवेंट ब्रिंग्स गुड और बैड लक. Like a cat is crossing your way, so what do? Usually we stop our car because we think that it's a bad luck. So that's superstitious, which does not have any scientific base. Then the sati pratha, the former practice in Hinduism of a widow burning herself on the funeral pyre of her body. of the husband. I have explained this one, right? Okay. um, I'm sending you the next part also. uh, let's finish the chapter today. First you go through this part, and then I'm sending the next part.